It's a church tutoring program for the largest school district in the state, and it's cost you hundreds of thousands. The alleged problem? Fraudulent billing practices. And the bigger discovery? The school system knew the allegations. Watchdog 10 and Kristen Hartman team up to uncover more Wednesday at 6, then at 11.
Her name was on the documents, but that doesn't mean she signed them. The woman saying tutoring organizers forged her signature.
Wednesday at 6 and 11 on 10 TV News.
It was an after-school tutoring program called Supplemental Educational Services, or SES, designed to give kids in failing schools an academic boost. The Ohio Department of Education got out of it in part because of problems with tutoring providers. Tonight, Watchdog 10 takes a look at one of those through the eyes of a mom and former employee who claims fraud was an issue. In your heart of hearts, do you believe that this organization was fraudulent?
Yes.
This woman, who doesn't want to show her face because she fears repercussions, says for a few months late last year she was a clerical worker for Apostolic Faith Temple Incorporated, or AFT, an SES provider. One of her primary responsibilities, she says, was to file paperwork of parents seeking tutoring for their kids.
Whatever needed to be done, I was told to do.
So you were able to observe the program?
Yes.
What she describes as a program with major problems.
I seen that they were unorganized. The communication wasn't there.
She says she was so disillusioned that when a better opportunity came along, she removed her own son from AFT after just one day of tutoring. It's why she found a later visit troubling.
I had a tutor come to my house 9 o'clock in the evening, asking for my signature, of which was more than 30 days of attendance that they had written out for him when he only went one day.
What did you think?
I said, well, I can't sign this. My son only attended one day.
Those accusations completely independent of something Watchdog 10 has confirmed, that Apostolic Faith Temple Inc. is now under state investigation. This letter obtained by 10 TV says Columbus City Schools received allegations that AFT billed for tutoring services that did not occur. There's also a March suspension notice on file tied to alleged fraudulent invoicing for the 2010-2011 school year, when AFT received roughly $324,000 in public money for tutoring services now being called into question. As of December 2011, paperwork shows AFT was supposed to be serving 191 students. Our interview questions that number.
There was not that many numbers at all.
And there's more paperwork that raises more questions. SES monitors this year, who did document tutoring taking place, also wrote up AFT at least 3 times for students signing out before tutoring sessions ended. And one observer said many students who showed up were not engaged. We spoke with the senior pastor of Apostolic Faith Temple. Bishop Nathaniel Jordan said it's all about the kids, not the money. But he also said his place of worship is not the same thing as AFT Incorporated. He suggested reaching out to the woman who runs the tutoring program, so we did. We found Kathy Beeler at this office. She said she needed to speak with the bishop before she could speak with us. Her only comment for the record, quote, "It's way bigger than me," end quote. The former employee we met, the one who says she's still waiting for AFT to pay her, is disappointed. But now the state auditor will decide if your tax dollars were misspent on tutoring that allegedly never happened.
Because there were kids there, the kids that were there, that was supposed to be there for learning and getting educated, they're missing out.
She is not alone in her accusations or frustration. Tonight at 11, you'll meet people who claim Apostolic Faith Temple Inc. used their names even though they didn't tutor to bill for that service paid for by your tax dollars. Also at 11, a response from Columbus City Schools. Watchdog 10 uncovers allegations of forgery by a Columbus tutoring company. Coming up, 2 people tell me how their signatures were forged to try to collect your tax money. A Watchdog 10 report. It is a program the state of Ohio opted away from because of myriad issues. It's called SES, or Supplemental Educational Services. The goal was to provide tutoring to kids in failing schools. You paid for it. Did you get your money's worth? People affiliated with one program say, maybe not. The paperwork shows Apostolic Faith Temple, Inc., or AFT, got public money, your tax dollars, to tutor disadvantaged Columbus City school students. Former employee Monica Burkhart, who's critical of the program, says,
Tutoring did happen, yes.
But did all of the tutoring your tax dollars paid for happen? The state is looking into that question. So is Watchdog 10. We spoke with Amy Newsom via Skype. She says she has email proof. She applied for a part-time tutoring position with AFT, Inc. In November of 2010, she says she even received a schedule from them.
I just put that I'm not going to take this position anymore because I'd taken another tutoring position elsewhere.
During the interview process, though, Newsom says AFT Inc. got her personal information, including her signature. Fast forward to March 2012. Newsom says Columbus City Schools called her and asked if she ever tutored for AFT Inc. She told them no.
And they actually said, well, we have some signatures we need you to verify because your name has been signed to quite a few timesheets.
She saw the signatures. She says they weren't hers. Look at Newsom's notarized signature on the left. The AFT Inc. paperwork version is on the right.
I was shocked and I was nervous because that was my name somebody had basically stolen to use to get money.
One-time employees who say they're still waiting for an AFT Inc. paycheck describe an organization with issues, one that didn't serve the documented number of students assigned to it. To the best of your knowledge, did AFT have 191 students it was serving?
No. So I was working closely with the numbers, matching students with tutors. We did not have 191 students that I was preparing for each week.
That brings us to yet another case of questionable signatures. This former AFT Inc. worker, who didn't want to show her face fearing repercussions, also claims to have gotten a call from Columbus City Schools. She says the Supplemental Educational Services Program was looking to verify if she tutored and signed for it as often as AFT Inc. says she did. It is sheet after sheet after sheet after sheet with your signature.
They went page by page and asked me if this was my signature, and I told them every time, no, that's not my signature.
She says in no way did she tutor the number of hours AFT Inc. billed for using her name. You're visibly angry.
Obviously, they're falsifying information. It's just a disgrace that these people are getting by with it. It makes me ill. It makes me sick.
And consider this, in the 2010-2011 school year when someone allegedly signed her name and used Newsom's too, documents Watchdog 10 obtained show AFT Inc. collected roughly $324,000 public dollars for tutoring.
I mean, I was shocked. This is a church, first and foremost.
The pastor told 10 TV the church is separate from the program, which continued services on your dime despite questions like the one this paperwork raised. The note is from an SES meeting with AFT. It isn't about tutoring signatures, but it is about truthfulness on AFT Inc. documents. It says, quote, signatures are questionable as being legal, end quote. The date on the note, September 15th, 2010. That meeting about a registration problem came before any of the alleged fraudulent billing. In October of 2010, a board member warned Columbus City Schools to be careful about paying providers for services that might not have happened. A CCS spokesperson says they were vigilant in monitoring SES providers. They say AFT Inc.'s alleged fraudulent billing did not come to their attention until March of this year. That's when they suspended it. AFT Inc.'s lead pastor told me they have nothing to hide and that tutoring was always about the kids, not the money. The state auditor is investigating. Watchdog 10 will stay on it.